We have Tuto with me today. Oh no, Tuto's not your name, just the name of...
Yeah.
You see, you must be known for the very thing that you actually do, because why did my mind say his name is Tuto? I'm so intrigued by your business. Welcome.
Okay, I think maybe let me start with the problem.
Yeah, okay.
So,
perfect.
South
Hi, well, now
Africa-
you're a salesperson.
So South Africa has a very, very serious crisis,
Yeah.
right? We say, okay, where do you struggle, right? And then we provide students with personalized intervention that allows
Okay.
them to close those learning gaps through an AI-based tutor, right?
Okay. And I'm
then-
curious to know, is there a certain part of your childhood that has like that influenced you being the founder of Tuto? Like, what part of your life is there a part of your life you can actually identify and say, I think this is where this was born?
Yeah, so this then allows us to solve that issue of financial literacy because we expose them to the world of personal financial management at a very, very early age. On the 13th of October, we're actually launching the world's first real-time study allowance platform for matriculants.
Okay.
So
people, what are the key things that are like, these have been my lessons here?
I think the most important thing that I've learned is
Okay, hello Resonate community, and welcome to the best and the biggest sales and entrepreneurship podcast in the whole wide world. Today we are broadcasting live at the YouthX Awards 2025 at the Constitution Hill, and the gentleman sitting next to me is one of the finalists for today. We have Tuto with me today. Oh no, Tuto's not your name, just the name of... You see, you must be known for the very thing that you actually do, because why did my mind say his name is Tuto? I'm so intrigued by your business. Welcome. Is it? Yeah, it's a beautiful name. I think it was very intentional and beautiful that you named your business that.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. I'm so excited to chat to you, because not only do I think that the kind of business that you have is something that is needed in South Africa, but more than anything, it is something that not a lot of people have actually thought about doing.
Yep.
So tell our audience at large what your business is about and what was the intention behind it.
Okay, I think maybe let me start with the problem.
Yeah, okay.
So
perfect.
South
Hi, well, now
Africa-
you're a salesperson.
So South Africa has a very, very serious crisis, right? So we have low financial inclusion and literacy and an inefficient education system. I mean, on the finance side, our savings rate is at negative 1.2%. We have a 15% financial literacy rate and not the widely reported 51%. And on the education side, even though we had the highest matric pass rate last year, 50% of students who started school in 2013 matriculated. And 4% of them will graduate, and sub 0.1% of them will actually graduate in STEM. So it means we have a literal crisis of learner repetition, which places a 20 billion rand financial burden on the Department of Basic Education. So Tuto is a platform that simultaneously solves this problem through combining students, teachers, and parents. It allows students to build daily accountability loops, right? Where they're able to kind of engage on a day-to-day basis with curriculum-aligned content in a short format. It's called Tuto Stories, and then they're able to then self-report their classroom performance scores. And this then allows us to capture classroom data at scale, which reduces the administrative burden for teachers. And then ultimately we then take this data, we say, okay, where do you struggle, right? And then we provide students with personalized intervention that allows them to close those learning gaps through an AI-based tutor, right? And then the magic thing about Tuto is that it focuses on recognizing and rewarding students' personal progress with a digital token. We call it a Tuto coin. So this coin is...
I like that so much.
Yeah, it's kind of like equivalent to the rand. So one Tuto coin is 1 rand. And then students are able to use this N Tuto coins for real world transactions. So they're able to save for bigger purchases. They're able to buy instantly, airtime, vouchers, data. They're able even to cash out. So this then allows us to solve that issue of financial literacy because we expose them to the world of personal financial management at a very, very early age.
I continuously become so intrigued because this is so amazing, and I think that it's so needed. You know, we with Resonate, we launched an entrepreneurship hub and a community as well. We're seeing the power of community and accountability with entrepreneurs as a whole. Like just being able to talk about the amount of money that you make. And I'm curious to know, is there a certain part of your childhood that has like that influenced you being the founder of Tuto? Like, what part of your life is there a part of your life you can actually identify and say, I think this is where this was born?
Yeah, I always tell people that I've been fortunate enough to be like a top performing student.
Oh, right? Interesting.
However, my little brother, he's good. Like, he's good at math. And there was this one point in time whereby he was a top student in his classroom, not in the entire grade.
Okay.
However, he was not recognized and rewarded for that, because schools have got this performance criteria whereby they only focus on rewarding top performing students.
Yes.
And they leave out positively progressing students in lower percentages. And from that point in time, seeing how he was affected by not being personally recognized and rewarded for the little effort that he has put in, his mathematics marks just started to drop.
Ooh.
And he lost complete interest and was completely demotivated. And I've seen how that can have a very, strong domino effect, and it actually affects his entire schooling journey. So I thought there has to be a solution that makes it possible for everyone, irrespective of their learning capabilities and limitations, to be recognized and rewarded for their personal progressive performance.
Yeah.
So that's how Tuto was ultimately born.
But also having, I really want to labor a lot more on this community conversation, because it's so big, As Africans, there's a proverb or like a saying that says it takes a village to raise a child.
Absolutely.
And essentially, it's like in every single department and space that you are in, you do need some sort of a village that gives you some form of recognition, validation, which is what your business is solving within the education sector. So I'm also of the belief that you guys have also launched, and this has been something it's running so far. Tell me about the success stories of like where the business is right now, the business, and also almost like a testimonial from somebody who's been experiencing it and that is having like such an amazing time with it.
Okay, so we started doing our pilot February 2025 with a school in Pretoria North. It's called Amanda Sech. We were focusing on a group of grade 10 learners from different performance levels, right?
Okay.
And term by term, every student that has used Tuto, on average, they've improved their performance by 14.5%.
Wow.
With some students averaging 30% improvement. But the most important thing for me is that the end Tuto coins, 70% of them have actually been saved instead of being instantly used by students. So it means we are then cultivating this culture of building a positive behavior in relation to money. So students are really, getting exposed to an environment that helps them to not just excel academically, but also build positive financial habits at a very, very early age. So that is some of the success stories.
That's beautiful.
And then also, as a YouthX finalist, we're doing something with Nedbank as well.
Yeah.
So Nedbank will be coming in as our sponsor bank.
Great.
To power the whole Tuto ecosystem.
Oh, so shout out to Nedbank for that. That is, they're real ones for that. Okay.
So that is the success story. And then on the 13th of October, we're actually launching the world's first real-time study allowance platform for matriculants.
Okay.
So parents will be able to say, okay, you know what, December time is coming. Whatever money you want, I'm going to put it on Tuto, and Tuto will track your study activity, and based on how you're engaging, you unlock those Tuto coins.
That's good. I would register my children for that platform. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. So you've gone through these weeks with YouthX by Nedbank as one of the finalists. What are the key lessons you've been learning concerning the business world and how to talk about your idea, how to bring up your business when you're talking to people? What are the key things that are like, these have been my lessons here?
I think the most important thing that I've learned is telling a story. Just not just talking about the business in itself, but how it relates to you, how it relates to the people around you, and the impact that it can create for the greater global society. You know? And I think that is my biggest takeaway for Nedbank YouthX.
I like that. That's so cool. And then personally, are there any skills that this experience has kind of imparted on you?
A lot. So I think I got exposed to, I think this whole experience has taught me that we live in a world whereby you can't separate yourself from your business. So being, constantly in cameras, and just, it's been a lot for me, but I think it has taught me to say, you know what, you need to tell a story. You need to expose yourself to the world and allow people to really, relate with what you're giving to them. So I think for me, the most important skill that I've learned is being able to sell myself and being confident in front of cameras and all that. So,
one of the things we say a lot on the Resonate podcast is that you are the billboard of your business.
Absolutely.
You are the salesperson of your business. So when we encounter you, based on what you say, how you say it, and how you present yourself, tells us so much that we need to know about your business. And I think that is such an amazing lesson for such an experience to teach you, because that is important.
Absolutely.
Like after this competition, you are going to have to step into rooms and ask for money or talk to stakeholders. But now the question is, do you have the relevant, confidence and are you used to this kind of thing? And I think this experience has been beautiful in allowing you guys to develop those skills as well. Where do you see the business going, let's say within the next 2 to 5 years?
Okay.
And I know you did give me a bit of stats around how you see it contributing greatly into the educational system in South Africa. But give me a bigger picture. What does Tuto look like?
Okay, so last year we were fortunate enough to be selected as one of the companies that represented South Africa at the top 100 of the global finals of the Entrepreneurship World Cup. And that exposed me to the global society, and it showed me that Tuto can actually work in other countries as well. So I think for me the big vision, we have billions of students, right? 80% of them are not recognized and rewarded. So I think in the next 5 years I see Tuto as a household name, a household product that is able to really build that society of a financially included, smart and responsible youth. So that's where I see Tuto in the next 5 years.
And I think it also has a lot to do with making being educated and loving education cool again.
Exactly.
I think we went through a phase as a country where being a nerd stopped being really cool. And I think it's what it will do is it'll kind of create a community, because it's so discouraging to be the only one who's focused on a specific thing, but you don't have a community.
Exactly.
But even if in your class you don't have that community, but it exists online, it just makes it much more easier and validating. And I appreciate that so much about the kind of business that you have. Is there a chance or a thought to take it globally?
Yeah, no, there is. There's definitely that. And I think as soon as we really scale it in South Africa, my next mission is to scale it globally.
That's interesting. Tell me about the money model of the business.
Okay, so
what does that look like? How are you as the business making enough money to run and be profitable? And I ask you that because there's a lot of people who, for instance, have a passion for something, but then they think, must it be an NGO or is it a business? And how am I going to make this thing that I have a heart for a good enough business model to make money from?
Okay, so Tuto is not an NGO. It's definitely
a business. I like that.
And then so we have a very simple price model. So at 50 rands per month, students are able to access all of Tuto's features. And then from that 50 rand, we actually give a 10 rand Tuto coin credit that can then be topped up at any given point in time by the student's benefactor. So as a parent, if you want to give your child an academic allowance, you just top up those Tuto coins. And it even relates to kinships as well. The aunts, the uncles can pour in and buy Tuto coins. So this is where the community building aspect of it, where it says, let's all come together and support this child and make sure that he or she is able to then grow.
So as a business owner, you're playing more a volume game in terms of generating revenue from it. Volume development until it then eventually becomes like a lot more profitable. Okay, I like that, because I think sometimes it's always so important to clear that out whenever we're having conversations, so people understand that even if you've got a passion for a specific thing, it can still be profitable.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be only selling chickens to make money. You can do it pursuing education and pursuing something that you're passionate about. I really, really like that a lot. How many people have you guys hired so far? Or has hired?
We have a team of 6.
Cool.
So it's myself. So there's 3 co-founders.
Okay.
And then we have hired 3 more people.
Nice.
We have 2 ladies who are doing development work for us. And they've done an amazing job. And then we have another guy who's focused primarily on making sure that the content that we have on the platform really aligns with the curriculum that we have in South Africa. So we're a team of 6.
Nice. So already creating employment empowerment. That is so
Absolutely,
beautiful. I
absolutely.
really like that. And I can imagine this whole experience has also been very transformational to your team.
Yeah, it has.
Because I'm sure you guys have had to deliver documents on spreadsheets and so many different things, which I think are so exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for chatting to me. I think this is such an amazing business idea that I personally am looking forward to seeing thrive. I think you guys are on the money.
Okay, can I tell people where they can find us?
Please tell them where they can find you.
Website, it's tuto.www.tuto.io.
Yeah.
And then across all social media, it's tuto_io.
Okay, tuto_io.
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much, the founder of Tuto, everybody. Thank you so much. This has been such an awesome conversation. And you know what? The businesses we're hearing about today are really going to shape how we see the future. I'm so intrigued by how they are changing the education space and actually building community, because on this podcast, we have been talking a lot about community in entrepreneurship, in schools, in every space, because it really does take a village to raise a child. It also does take a village to raise good grades.
Absolutely.
Build a good future and a business. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you with our next amazing entrepreneur.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you.